Because to be honest, he just kind of looks like an ugly lollipop. Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday. Wow, the week felt like it zoomed by. But let's do sleep session 846 together and see what sort of Pokemon showed up. So as you guys saw in the previous video, I did find a good Dwebble named Pebble, who I evolved into a Crustle, and it has Mono Avocado. Thank you and huge shout out to Grog, who then later plugged in the credentials into Rain on X for me to give me a different angle of how to view my Crustle. Even though the analysis I received was more skill-based, they plugged it in for ingredient production, and it says that I would be making a whopping 80 avocados a day once it gets to level 60 or something like that. I forget. I'm paraphrasing here off memory. But thank you so much for Grog for giving me a completely different angle on how to view my Crustle. I really appreciate you. So yeah, I'm very proud of my catch, and I don't think I'm gonna need to catch a Trapinch. I mean, probably will if there's nothing else to catch on the field, but good to know. Anyways, there's a Darkrai here. I've been really chill and relaxed about catching Darkrai. Sorry, if I keep looking at the corner, it's because it's 11:10 right now. And I'm waiting for 11:11 because I want to make my wish. There's only 2 moments of the day where it's 11:11 and I try to hit both moments for a wish. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit. This minute is feeling so long. Oh, 11:11. Time to make a wish. Alright, I made my wish. I more or less wish for the same thing. Not because it hasn't come true, but I mean, I'm so thankful and it's continuing to come true. Yeah, nothing that I want to catch here. So I'm just gonna give my bonus biscuit to Darkrai. Also, for those who watched the stream yesterday, yes, I am wearing the same top. Okay, you guys know why. It's gonna be our little secret amongst other little secrets that have been plopped during that stream session. I unpublished the VOD on Twitch and on YouTube. I feel a sense of trust from Darkrai, and he's hungry. So yeah, it's like, oh nice. I get to see that little buff they put in the game a couple updates back. But yeah, I don't want to be annoying or anything, but it's like one of those moments where it's like you gotta be there at the stream to know what's going on. And I think I like it that way because then it gives viewers who show up to a stream another sense of us, you know, bonding moment that we only know about if you were there, which I feel is a little special and deserving of those who do show up for that moment. But then saying that, I do feel bad too for those who didn't. But I mean, sometimes you want to play even playing field, and then other times you want to make things a little special for those who show up in different ways. I don't know. Maybe it's just my people-pleasing tendencies kicking in again. But let's see. There's nothing for us to show in terms of catch because, as you saw, Darkrai is slowly building up his friendship pips. I think I've only filled it up once, so this is the second time. I have 2 of the seeds, one the freebie that they gave when this whole thing came out, then another one for filling the friendship bar previously. So yeah, I'm in no rush really to make my Darkrai buff and strong. I feel like the momentum of that died out, although it was truly an exciting moment during that period of time in Pokemon Sleep. That was when my channel really started bumping up again. So I took that opportunity to, make beginner guides for a lot of new players that were joining the game, and that was really fun. Sometimes you have to see moments and know when to, jump in on them. So we're going to make this huge salad for breakfast, this defiant coffee salad. Coffee in the morning for our Snorlax, so perfect. I also yesterday learned on stream with chat what the 3 espresso beans mean on an espresso martini. Happiness, wealth, and yeah, I forgot the other one. They're really interesting. So if they don't have 3 beans and you're ordering an espresso martini outside, slip it back to the waiter or bartender and be like, sorry, I'm missing a 3rd bean. So this is week 2 for us at Amber Canyon, and we are now at grade 5. I'm in no rush to really, min-max or anything. I'm kind of in a period of my life in this game where I'm just taking it chill, but every now and then it picks up again. Let's see. Oh, I also want to show you guys. So I did unlock the salad, the luscious avocado salad. This looks delicious, and it reminds me, the picture reminds me of something that my old coworkers and I went back when I used to work part-time at a sushi kiosk for 5 years. I worked that job to pay off tuition, and we would make a salad kind of like this for ourselves. It was off menu, and yeah, it would be like avocado chunks, masago or tobiko, you know, the little crunchy red or orange eggs, not the roe is the bigger one, but the small crunchy one, kanikama, which is the crab stick, shredded and chopped up, and then we would do like Kewpie mayo, teriyaki sauce, mix it all up, and then a heaping amount of tempura, like crunchy tempura flakes, to add some extra texture. And that was like a delicious little snack that we would make. But yeah, that's what the luscious avocado reminds me of. Anyways, let's move on. A little reminiscing there from my past lives. I'm 31 and I feel like I've lived like 3 different lives now, which is really fun to look back on. Or maybe even 4 different lives. But let's see what our daily exchange looks like. And we are going to get, what is our luck going to look like? We are going to get diamonds, girl's best friend. All right, you guys. So there was some news, and I'll be so for real with you. I'm not excited for this. Why? Because to be honest, he just kind of looks like an ugly lollipop. But Spiritomb is coming to the game. It's a dark type. Are any of you guys excited for this? Kind of interesting that it's a Spiritomb. I don't know. I don't really know how this fits in the theme with everything. What kind of thought there was. If I'm missing something, let me know. But yeah, I'm not too excited about this. But when I think Spiritomb, I think of like Lumio City, X and Y Pokemon. So I don't know if this is like a little nod or chin up to Pokemon ZA. Really don't know. But this Pokemon is going to be arriving on December 1st, and it'll be appearing at Greengrass Isle, Snowdrop Tundra, Lapis Lakeside, Amber Canyon, and the expert mode of Greengrass Isle. Are any of you guys interested in this? I'm genuinely curious. If you are, please let me know in the description. Or sorry, not description. If you are, please let me know in the comment section. Just put a ghost emoji or say, I'm interested in Spiritomb. Alright, but along with him, I don't know why I'm assuming it's a him, but along with Spiritomb, we are getting the second packed portions cooking week. So the first one happened earlier this year. The second one is happening now. So great time to plan ahead on what sort of meals and ingredients you want to prep for, so that maybe the week before packed portions cooking, you collect ingredients, you don't really cook, and then all those ingredients carry over on to the next week, and you have a very fruitful week ahead of you, maybe even hitting Master 20. So it's a great event for things like this. So I might be going to the Tundra. I don't think I've hit Master 20 there yet. I know I did for Greengrass Iron Beach. I don't even know if I did it for Taupe Hollow. We're gonna have to double check later. But a little refresher, because it's been a minute since we've had packed portions cooking, and to be honest, I kind of forgot what happened. So there's plenty to go around. It's time for Packed Portions Cooking Week. This week-long event is a special opportunity where helper Pokemon with ingredient specialty will shine. During this event, some Pokemon with the ingredient specialty are more likely to appear, and your cooking pot will be 100 times larger. Wow. Or 300 times larger on Sunday. So this means more ingredients can fit, and this means by default you are able to make larger dishes. Amazing. Don't have to rely on a pot expander unless you really want to like bump it up even more and use your pot expanders. But yeah, you're gonna be running out of ingredients during this time. Some bonuses have been adjusted and differ from the last event. Ooh. So we're gonna see the bonus section for details to see what changed. But the event is happening on December 1st with the introduction of the Pokemon that we just saw, and it's happening in all areas. So these are the bonuses. All day, your cooking pot will be 2 times larger or 4 times larger on Sunday, which means more ingredients can fit, bigger recipes to make as well. Alright, so the following here, this has been adjusted from the last event. So Pokemon recover 5 additional energy from dishes. The main skill ingredient Magnet S and ingredient Draw S effect will be bumped by 1.5. Each time a helper Pokemon with ingredient specialty brings you an ingredient as it regularly would, it will bring 1 extra. The limited time mini candy boost function will be available, great for new catches, especially those that are below level 30. So you just, bring them up to date to level 30 to at least unlock the second ingredient slot. That is probably the main objective you would want for this. Save your dream shards to get any ingredient type Pokemon you can to level 30 so that you can unlock the second ingredient slot, because that will be super important for you to just gather more ingredients. A few Pokemon of different sleep styles will appear during the sleep research, regardless of your sleep style, very common for events. And then the final strength gains from dishes will be multiplied by 1.25 or 2.5 extra tasty. Or on Sunday, if it's extra tasty, that will be 3.75. So this has been adjusted from the last event. To be honest, I don't even remember what changed. And I'm kind of too lazy to look at the previous notes. But these are the greater appearance rates of what you can be expecting. So ingredient type Pokemon, let's see what I would be excited for. Diglett, I'm good on tomatoes and potatoes. Same for Bellsprout and Geodude. I have one for beans, one for potato that I used to farm. Still looking for a mono potato spaghettito. Farfetch I think I'm good on because my Quaquaval farms me leeks pretty well. Kang, I already have a good potato farmer. Ditto, I already have a decent Ditto. Okay, Paldean Wooper, I do want to catch because I still want a better cacao farmer. Larvitar would be nice for Mono Ginger since the one I'm using now at level 60 has sausages. Mawile, I forget. Absol, the Absol I have right now is farming my cocoa, but I want a better cocoa farmer. Shinx as well, I have a good one that is Mono Tomato. Mr. Mime, don't need. Krogunk, I do need for Mono Oil still, need that oil farmer. Snover is a good option for egg farming, especially seeing as the Chansey line is not in this list. So maybe if I do go to the Tundra, I will be able to find a egg farmer until I'm able to find better. Pumpkaboo, ooh, that's nice. Do need to continue looking for a mono pumpkin Pumpkaboo. Grubbin I already have for coffee. Stuffle I already have one for corn. Comfey I have a good corn one too, but I don't really use it anymore because I got my Stuffle. Cramorant I don't need, and as I mentioned before, my Quaquaval that farms leeks. So let's see, if I go to Topalo, I'm going to be hitting the Paldean Wooper, the Larvitar, and the Krogunk, which is 3 of what I'm looking for. But if I go to Snowdrop Tundra, I do get to see the Spiritomb. There's also the Krogunk and the Snover. So both options are good. It's just more, what do I need more? The added bonus of course, seeing the highlight Pokemon. But yeah, those are what my thoughts are right now. I'm jumping between Topalo and Snowdrop Tundra, just because they cater more to my needs. But let me know where you guys are planning to go for this event. And now let's move on to our favorite portion of this video, the Yap session. And today I have a gorgeous matcha latte. I know it's been a while. Look at the color. Wow, look at that. She is beautiful. She is much more gorgeous in real life. You know, sometimes pictures don't do it justice. You meet them in person and you're like, you're beautiful, you know? Give it a good mix. Love that ASMR clinkly clank sound. And cheers, you guys. I love my morning lattes, but I just feel so much more healthy when I drink a matcha. One, the caffeine crash you get is more minimal, I hear. I'm not sensitive to caffeine, so that doesn't really, that's not the main purpose I drink this. The main purpose is really because green tea and matcha has a lot of antioxidants, which is really good for you. So that is why I like to drink matcha. On top of it, tasting really delicious. I like the bitterness, but I also like it a little sweet, and it's just so pleasant. But let us catch up, my friends. I have quite several things I want to share, so I guess I'll just go like brain dump on you. Oh my gosh, look! Navo found a shiny Trapinch, and it's like almost the color of my drink. A little bit more on the minty looking side of things. So kind of like, I saw on TikTok, there's this girl named Claire, and she would talk about this minty milk thing that is really common for households to drink. The color reminds me of this, like a minty milk drink. But yeah, I'm just going to brain dump on you guys about what's been happening. Tuesday, finally saw my therapist after almost a year. It was so good. I got so much clarity on this moment of my life because my initial concern was like, is this a fluke? I just feel like everything's going so well. I feel like I healed so quickly and so well from the breakup. And I told her straight up, like, if you think the way I'm speaking highlights any toxic tendencies or thinking, or maybe I'm missing something or insight that you want to like tell me so that I'm aware of it, like, please stop me at any time and let me know. That didn't happen. So that's a good sign. And she told me that the way I was explaining things and my thought process and everything really showed that I applied everything I've learned the last 2 years with her through therapy and put it into practice. And that's why I came out of it with just so much clarity and like not falling to toxic tendencies and being firm on my boundaries and everything like that. And it just gave me so much comfort knowing that in that regard, I really did change, because it's one thing to go to therapy, but it's another to really put into practice what you're being taught in order to not be that version of yourself that you initially came to therapy to repair, you know? So I'm really glad, and I just feel so much lighter knowing that. And it makes me feel less scared that there's a fluke, but then also I notice that feeling comes from residual anxiousness that just came from always being hyper alert on expecting when things are going to get bad. And that was something that I learned that I picked up during my experience of the last 6 years. And now I'm in a part of my life where, because everything is calm and clear and I'm feeling so happy, my nervous system is now like, girl, what's going on? Everything seems to be smooth sailing, too good to be true. Where's the catch? So now like I'm distrusting of people. I'm always like, what's the ulterior motive? Are you trying to manipulate me? When things are going too well, I'm like, this is going too well. This is going too easy. What's the catch? And that is what I noticed that I need to work on continually post breakup now that I'm 3 months out. So I'm going to continue going to therapy to unpack that a little further and talk about like ways I can cope with that anxiety when it comes to having those fears, because I know that even though I'm in no need or no rush to find a partner, I want to enjoy life for what it is. I don't want to rush into anything. I just want to like really take it day by day and just enjoy this new life and this new version that I'm experiencing of myself right now. I really want to get to know her, you know, and I really want to like get acquainted with myself again. But at the same time, I know that in doing so, whether it's platonic or romantic relationships I may develop in the future, I don't want to let that fear of anxiousness and high alertness to affect my friendships and my connections, because I put myself in their shoes and I imagine like how would I feel if I were authentically being myself, wanting to be a nice person, wanting to connect with someone, but they're always like at arm's length towards me because they think I'm going to hurt them, even though I have no intentions to. And then I think about like how that applies to like my friendships, or maybe in the future if I meet people, like what that would look like for them. And when it comes to wanting to create genuine connections, of course it would be hurtful if you feel like the person you're trying to get close to is just so closed off or like scared that you might hurt them, you know, even though you understand that it comes from a place of pain. So yeah, I take a step back and I look at that and I'm like, I don't want to be that way, especially because, you know, I do have hope that my partner is out there somewhere, you know, doing his own thing, working on himself, and then one day we're going to meet and it's going to be like we're on the same page as on everything, and it's going to be so easy, right? But going back to the easy part, the me right now is like when things are too easy, I'm catastrophizing. That is a word I learned yesterday from one of my viewers, but I do that, and I hate that I do that. I'm always anticipating danger, and it sucks when things are going easy and things are going well that I can't enjoy it because I'm always thinking, when's the mask gonna fall, you know? So for the sake of myself, my friendships, and my future hubby out there, I want to work on that, and I want to be able to like feel at ease at things being calm and things being simple. I think I've really done a good job at navigating when life gets chaotic. I know how to ground myself. I know how to self-regulate, which is such an important life skill to have. And I would argue that yes, communication is a very important thing for relationships, but what's even more important is whether or not you and your partner can self-regulate in moments of high intensity. And I don't mean self-regulate in a sense of let's take a 5-10 minute pause, walk away from each other, maybe overnight, and revisit this in the morning, because that's not what self-regulation looks like. Self-regulating yourself is knowing to identify the feelings, call out the feelings, understand what is the root of that feeling coming from, and then being able to work on that together and communicate that to your partner. I think a lot of times what people do is they ignore that they're feeling a certain way, and they're like, no, I'm not upset. But you can kind of tell they're upset by the tone in their body language. And look, I'm not a body language expert. I don't think that you should read too much into that. But sometimes the body language are just subtle cues that kind of highlight other messages that they are trying to put down. So there is that to consider too. But I feel like when people are not honest with themselves of how they feel, how can they be honest with you about what they're going through, you know? And that makes it a little more tough. That makes it so that they really can't self-regulate, and there's like nothing you could do at that point if they're not willing to meet themselves where they need to meet themselves. But yeah, that's basically like a lot of what I got through my first therapy session. So really great, and I loved how it went. I'm meeting with her again on Tuesday just to like catch up on other things and like put goals in place of what I want to do moving forward. And then maybe I'm going to start to ease off into every 2 weeks I see her, and then every 3 weeks I see her, since that's what we did last time. So I'm feeling really good, feeling very light and happy with how that went. And then yesterday I did a pole class. It was super fun. And I was afraid that I would have lost all my strength because it's been a while since I've done pole before, you know? So I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to keep up? Do I still have the strength in my upper body and my core? And I was very pleasantly surprised that I did so much better than I thought. I feel like it probably looked like I only took a month off pole and I got back into it. So, you know, the body can surprise you, especially when you put your mind to it. But it was so nice when I walked in and I saw my regular instructor, and she's like, oh my gosh, I saw your name on the list. And I'm like, she's back. And I'm like, yeah, I moved back. We caught up a little bit, and it was just so much fun being in class. I learned new tricks. I felt so strong and so pretty and so elegant and so confident. And it was a great session back. But oh my gosh, you guys, the day after, I'm freaking sore everywhere. My core, not so much, because I've been working on my core at home. So I try to do every other day core, yoga, and then stretch, just so that it keeps my body warm and flexible. And when I do weightlifting downstairs, I just do lower body, since I feel like yoga does enough of my upper body that I'm comfortable with. But now that I'm back in pole, is working my upper body in ways I have not worked in so long. Luckily, my grip strength is still there, my shoulder strength is still there, my lat strength is still there. But I'm working with upper body weight again when it comes to this. And it's been like almost a year since I've done something like this. So I woke up achy and sore, but it's good because that's how I know I'm activating muscles I haven't used in a while, and I'm gonna get stronger, gonna be more defined in the upper body, probably gonna gain more muscle. And oh my God, I was so hungry after class. I was so hungry. I went to the Chinese bakery that was close by and I bought some pastries. So I bought a hot dog bun. If you've never tried an Asian Chinese hot dog bun, try it. It's so freaking delicious. I bought 3 Portuguese egg tarts and then 1 Hong Kong style egg tart. The Hong Kong style one was not good, so I'm glad I only got 1. But I did try one of the Portuguese egg tarts last night on stream. Yum. I have 2 more. I'm so excited. My only regret is not getting another hot dog bun because it was just so good. I don't remember it being that good, or maybe it's just been so long since I've last eaten it that I was like, dang, this is delicious. But the prices went up. I don't remember it being like $3.70. So when I saw that, I was like, dang, that's kind of expensive. But yeah, my week is going super fantabulous. I did a stream yesterday. It was supposed to be Pokemon ZA, but we started just like yapping, and I had really great, deep, insightful conversations with a lot of my male viewers. A lot of them are OGs from the 2018 era when I was on Twitch. So it was nice catching up with them, but also just talk about like the deeper complexities of relationships and life and stuff like that, stories that they had to share and insight that they had to share as well. And I just had such a great time talking with them. It felt like I was talking with the homies, with the friends, you know? And I learned so much from them too. So it was so great for any of you guys who were in yesterday's stream, who are watching, who I'm talking about. Hi. And there was something that 2 of my OG viewers told me that really stuck to me, because 2018 was a very pivotal moment in my life when I started putting myself on Twitch. And it was very interesting. I learned so much. I had so much fun. But I was young. I think I was like, 23 at the time? And I'm 31 now. So quite a bit of time has passed between then and now. And a lot of time for people to change. So sometimes, because I don't remember, and I deleted like everything from 2018, 2019, but I really don't remember much of how I showed up or like how I was back at that time. So when I have OGs show up in a stream and they tell me things about like how they remember me of the past, I'm like, wow, it's so beautiful that you have people who have met you years ago who are able to remember a version of you that you no longer remember because life goes on for you, but they have snapshots of memories of you from a moment of like when they first met you and stuff. And I just find that so interesting. And yeah, and I wanted to share something because I wrote it down. I have like this little journal. I write like my thoughts and therapy session notes and stuff, or like when I'm being a little introspective, I just like to write my thoughts down. I had 2 viewers from 2018 who we were reminiscing for a brief moment about my 2018 when I first debuted on Twitch. And one of them said that I still have that glint in my eyes from years ago, which is a good thing. And I thought that was so sweet to say, you know, like when you tell someone like, oh, you're funny, you're pretty, you have good taste, blah, blah, like that's very flattering and everything. But I don't think I've ever been told that like I have a glint in my eyes and that they're the same from years ago. And that really touched my heart in a way where I was like, even though I've been through some stuff since now and then, I'm glad that at the core of it, I still have that me that's always been there that maybe I just didn't realize was always there, you know? So it makes me feel like all these years I still showed up authentically as myself and I didn't lose that. And that makes me so happy. And then someone else said, the melody of how you speak hasn't changed that much as well. I totally remember how you talked back then and it's not different at all. Maybe a little less confident, but but it has the same vibe. Like saying that back then, a little less confident, more confident now, but still the same vibe in like how I talk. And then they said, it's obvious that you've been through things since then, but not in a negative way. And I thought that was so interesting too, because when I started doing YouTube again, I'm like, oh, I feel so awkward talking, but it's interesting to hear how the melody, as I mentioned, or the cadence of how I speak is still the same as how it was back then. So it's like, wow, even though so much of life has changed for me, there's so much of me that is still the same. And that makes me so happy, you know? So yeah, those are my little thoughts of what I wanted to share. Now, in terms of the schedule, this week I'm only able to stream twice because I am pretty busy. So I streamed yesterday, I'm streaming again today, and I promise you guys it will be a dedicated Legends ZA gameplay. So we're moving forward with the story. We're gonna be having a lot of fun with that, and that is gonna be the stream today. And then I won't be able to stream for the rest of the week because your girl is packed. Tomorrow I need to do something. So yeah, there is that. It's gonna occupy my evening. I'm getting help from friends to do something. Saturday night, mommy is going on a girls' night out. Yes, so I'm gonna be touching some grass or maybe touching some concrete, touching some dance floors, I don't know. But I'm going out and I'm so excited. But you know what? It's the process of planning a girls' night out and like sharing with each other what we're gonna be wearing that makes it so fun. And I have a really cute outfit that I think highlights my personality. So maybe I will share that with you guys on like my Instagram or TikTok for those of you who want to follow that. Check the link for all my socials. And I just know I'm gonna have so much fun. Can't wait to dance. I can't wait to shake some ass. And I just hope the music's gonna be good. Because if it's like electric or house music, I don't really know how to dance to that. But if it's like, you know, rap, hip hop, R&B, early 2010s, like teach me how to Dougie type stuff, that I have a little bit more confidence in dancing with. But yeah, like the melodic stuff, I don't know. So hoping that the music is good for that night. Don't know what to expect because your girl doesn't really party. The last time I did was like in my early 20s. So I mean, she's coming out of retirement, but she's gonna have so much fun. And then on Sunday, I'm having dinner with some high school friends that I haven't seen in a really long time. We were having hot pot at their place, and I'm gonna be meeting their little bundle of joy for the first time. So I can't wait to hold a baby because I love babies. And that is what my week is looking like. And then Monday, rinse and repeat. I have heels again. Tuesday, I have therapy. I think I'm gonna do pole on Wednesday again. We will see what my schedule looks like. But I don't have a concrete schedule for streaming next week. But I feel like now that I'm back in Canada and I'm getting slowly back into my routine how it was before the move in Singapore, I'm starting to think that maybe I'll be able to do stream 2 to 3 times a week, maybe like Wednesday, Thursday, and then either Saturday, Sunday. So 2 on the weekday, 1 on the weekend. So I think that is what it's going to look like. But I do also want to say, for the last 2 weeks of December, I am going to be not streaming. I probably will still do YouTube, but streaming, no, just because I want to kind of enjoy this newness of holiday season for myself, since it's going to be my first time alone. I'm not sad about it. I was sad a couple weeks back thinking about it, just because there's an association I have to the holiday season. So detaching from that was a little painful in my mind at first, because it was just another step to the finality of things. But now that I'm in a really good headspace and a really good place in my life, I'm excited to make the most of what holidays look like for me as a single girly in her 30s, living on her own and just making the best out of it. So super excited for that. But those are my thoughts for this Thursday. And yeah, I mean, who's excited for Spiritomb? Remember, I do want to know. So if you're excited, let me know, because I'm not really excited. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment, and consider subscribing to the channel. I know there's plenty of you that watch but have not yet subscribed, so I really would appreciate the gesture. Check the description for all my other social media links. We also have a Discord. Highly invite you guys to join. If you like the vibes of this, then it's like that with a community of people with the same vibes on Discord. Super funny, super helpful, especially like the communities for TCG Pocket and Pokemon Sleep. We also have one for Legends ZA where people like flex their shinies or do trades, but we also have general chats and stuff that are super fun to engage in as well. So you're definitely going to be finding something there that suits your needs. And if not, I do have a request channel where you could place your request on things that you would want for the Discord, because it's my first time running a Discord channel. And yeah, if anyone's interested in being a mod or has experience or like can guide me on what I should expect when it comes to that, let me know as well, because I do feel like maybe it is time to have a mod on Discord. So yeah, hit me up either on Discord, or you could shoot me an email. You can find that in my YouTube as well. But I will see you guys in the next video, probably next week. So until then, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, good luck, and have fun. Bye.